see your Jim Lee. Hush, 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 hurry, get that Jim Lee. Hush, hush, I wanna see your Jim Lee. Hush, 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 hurry, get that Jim Lee. Hush, hush, I wanna see your Jim Lee. Hush, 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 hurry, get that Jim Lee. Hush, hush, I wanna see your Jim Lee. Hush, 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 hurry, get that Jim Lee. Hush, hush, I wanna see your Jim Lee. Hush, 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 hurry, get that Jim Lee. Hush, hush, I wanna see your Jim Lee. Hush.
Yo, it is Friday. It is Stash Wars Live. Let me get my frame right. Mike the Sig Slayer chilling with you guys. Shout out to DC Shente. I'm so sad I missed out on the Jimmies. We're about to talk about Jim Lee all night. Thank you guys for joining us for another Friday. It is Stash Wars Live, man. As you guys trickle into the live, please hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to be chilling all night talking about Hush 2 and Jim Lee taking over LA. So Jim Lee took over LA, and it started on Wednesday with the release of Batman 158. Excuse me. And it's continuing on this weekend at Wondercon in Anaheim, California. And we got my man Mark the Honorable Villain there right now, and I got footage. Please hit the like button. And then also, this will be the first show, guys, that you'll be able to join the chat. So I'll be having a link in the comments, and it'll be audio only. So you'll be able to talk about Jim Lee. You have any Jim Lee stories, your best Jim Lee comic book, your best Jim Lee book in your collection, we'll be talking about it all. So this will be the first show where we'll be taking live calls on this live Stash Wars Live. I am eager to hear what you have to say. And we're broadcasting live across Instagram and YouTube. So I just want to let you know later on during the show, I will take on callers, and the link will be in the comments. So definitely stick around. This is going to be a jam-packed show. We're talking about Jim Lee all night long. So that's the first order of business. So we're just going to just dive right on in, okay? Because it was a jam-packed week, and I just wanted to start it off with this here. Let me get to it. Jim Lee was at Collector's Paradise in North Hollywood, California. He did a couple shops that day. It was fantastic. Signing stuff. I mean, Cats was out here 4 o'clock in the morning. I heard that someone was waiting at Collector's Paradise, North Hollywood, since 1 o'clock in the morning. And I think this signing started at like 11. So from 1 a.m. to 11, that's pretty gangster, to say the least. A lot of homies got a bunch of stuff signed. And then, so he was at Collector's Paradise signing a bunch of stuff. And just to tell you the deal here, shout out to Ed at Collector's Paradise. The other thing that was cool about this, you paid $10. $10 guaranteed you a ticket. That's why this line was hella long. $10 guaranteed you a ticket. And then you could get anything you bought in a store signed for free on top of 5 additional personal items. So Collector's Paradise, it was booming during the morning time. Like I said, Cats was camped out. And then during the evening, or I should say the afternoon, Jim went to Golden Apple in Hollywood, California. Shout out to my man, Drunken B-Boy, my boy Stan the Man. This dude, he stayed up until 4 a.m. So he was at Golden Apple at 4 a.m. to get Jim Lee. I think that's just that's really gangster. But if you know Stan, anybody that knows Stan, shout out to Stan. Stan is gangster like that. He will camp out for some gyms. He don't go to all the events, but my man Stan will be at these Jim Lee events. This is him at Golden Apple. And so Golden Apple was a little bit different. It was a numbered event. So you have to get there, I think, at 11 o'clock. So everybody was camped out early as hell. And the thing about Golden Apple, for all the people that are across the world or across the nation, in Hollywood, California, that's a centrally located area. It's Hollywood, obviously. People know about the tourist attractions and all that jazz. But people are coming from all four directions of Los Angeles to go to Golden Apple. Whereas in North Hollywood at Collector's Paradise, where Jim was here, just to show you guys once again, over here in Collector's Paradise, Jim, this is more in the valley. And so it's people will travel here, but it's a little further out. So I knew that this Golden Apple one was going to be the one where it was going to be dog eat dog. And I know a lot of 8th degree black belt Sig Slayers, and Stan the Man, Drunken B-Boy, he's one of them, amongst others. Shout out to my man, King of Comics. We're going to talk about him later because he was one of the few that went to both and got it really, really done. But this is Jim Lee at Golden Apple. And this is Wednesday. This is Wednesday, the premiere of Batman 158, aka Hush 2. Definitely want to know what you guys thought. Did you guys pick up Hush 2? Let us know in the comments if you picked up Hush 2. What cover did you get? Which one was your favorite cover? There was a whole buttload of freaking covers of Hush 2. But which one was your favorite? Was it the Bermejo? Was it the Jim Lee? Jim Lee had it was really, I think, 3 different images, if I'm not mistaken. But of the main cover image, the one in the center that you see here in this graphic, there's so many different covers of that. And I'm just going to just show you one right here. So here's another one. And this was one that I like the most because they did it kind of like the X-Men #1, where it's a gatefold. So it has all the Jim Lee covers all wrapped into one. And so there was a bunch. And then there was these two. I just went with the Jim Lee. You know, to me, it's like, hey, if it's Hush, I want Jim Lee. I love Lee Bermejo. I love J. Scott Campbell and all those guys. But give me the Jim Lee covers on Hush. I don't want – to me, it just seems weird seeing seeing Hush covers without Jim Lee art on them. So I just went with these. And, yes, there's the Virgin one of this, which is the one in the center graphic that you see at the bottom. That one's like $50 to $100. This one's like $8. It's the same image, and I like the actual darkness of Gotham more than the brightness of Gotham. So that's my take on that. But let us know in the chats what you got, what cover you got. Let me see what's going on. That Jim Lee signing made me jealous. Hey, DeClaw. Hey, if you got some time, man, just letting you know, man, we're gonna be talking. You'll have the chance to join the chat. I'm going to have a link in the description, and you won't be seen to be an all audio call. And I would love to pick your brain about, some of your favorite Jim Lee moments. Do Jim Lee have keys? Like, that's a big thing that people talk about Jim Lee's career, is that he doesn't have a lot of keys. He has a lot of covers, a lot of pivotal moments, but not a lot of keys. So I want to hear your thoughts about Jim Lee later on. Okay, so let's join the chat. But for now, we're moving on to the Stash Fam Picks of the Week. Because you want to be jealous, DeClaw? I'm going to make your ass hella jealous right now. Here comes the FOMO. You wish you were there? I'm about to give you some things that make you wish you were there. So let's start here with the Sig Slayer stuff. This is our stash from the Jim Lee Wednesday. So we're going to be giving away some Jim Lee signed Hush 2s next Friday for our 10,000 subscriber celebration. And we're also going to be giving away a Jim Lee Hex backpack the same day. But this is what we got. This is what we came up with. We got a lot more than this, but this is what we wanted to show you guys today. You know, so we got a little bit of old school Hush, got a little bit of new school Hush. This is the Sig Slayers Hush right here. This is what we got. This is what we got. I'm gonna show you what the Stash fam got. And this is shout out to Mark the Honorable Villain. Mark the Honorable Villain out there putting in work. He is on assignment at Wondercon right now. But the first assignment of the week was covering this event. And so we got hella Hushes for you guys. This is our Hush stash that we came up with. This is our loot. But shout out to my man Ian, the king of comics. Look at what he got. Look at this stuff. This is fantastic. Hush, baby. I'm so sad I missed out. Shout out to DC Shinte over there in the IG world. We're simulcasting live on both. Just look at this. We was talking about the gatefold. This is the virgin foil of the infamous X-Men #1. I don't know what year they reprinted these foils, but all I know, King of Comics, he went ham at Golden Apple and at Collector's Paradise in North Hollywood. But wait, there's more. Bam! Hush, hush, hurry, hurry, get your chilies. Dude, this dude went apeshit. This is great right here. First, on the left is the OG cover A Hush, classic, probably the most famous Jim Lee cover of Batman. And this is 4 times signed. Oh, yeah, 3 times signed. I don't see Scott Williams. So we got Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, and Alice Sinclair, the Gradient General. And then on the right, you have, they came out with this Batman Day 608 Virgin Foil. Okay, I think this came out in 2022 or 2023. But this one here is the error print. And the white logo gives it away. And then they reprinted it again with the black DC logo. But the white ones have an error. I don't know where the error is at, but they tell us it's an error variant. And my man, King of Comics, Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee on this. I think this is fantastic. This is the type of stuff that Batman fans want. Now, this is all $10. So we got all this signed for $10, guys. Jim Lee, just in case you didn't know, normally out in the normal streets, Jim Lee is tier 3. He is $50 to $60. Okay. So that's what you're paying at the average show. Now, San Diego Comic-Con, WonderCon, there's always free opportunities. But Jim Lee is normally tier 3, $50 to $60. These are some badass books. Definitely. And I just want you to know, shout out to Ian out there downtown LA. King of Comics. This dude goes ham. So when I say Stats Fam, picks of the week, that means these are Sig Slayers. These are some of the best Sig getters in the world. $10 too. You're gonna cry now. I'm not even done. This is all from the same guy, DeClaw. This is all from the same guy. Bam! Look at this. This is what I'm saying. Sig Slayers. This is what I'm talking about. Right here. This type of stuff. This is when you're going super dedicated in the paint. You're like drop stepping and banging on cats like Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, let me just go. This is like murderer's row of signatures here. This is not even my book, okay? This is not even my book. This is King of Comics book. He finally got Jim Lee on this Justice League of America 0, a Michael Turner cover, signed by Michael Turner. Michael Turner, his signature is right there on the Superman's S. And then he got Tony Harris. I see George Perez. I see Phil Jimenez, Brad Meltzer, Andy Kubert. It looks like Gene Ha did a Wonder Woman remark for him. I see Kevin McGuire, Andy Kubert. I can't believe he got Dick Giordano. He got Dick Giordano on this book. Kevin Nolan. Dexter Vines, Ethan Van Sciver, and Jim Lee with the cherry on top. That is crazy. So far, this LA Zero, my favorite. He got everyone. Exactly. And that's why I want to show you what he's working with. This is King of Comics. He's King of Comics for a reason. You know, he's been working on this book for years, obviously. But just a fantastic cover. I have one of these myself. I don't know if I have this many SIGs on this cover, but the variant of this I do. But then on the right, you have, I want to say this is Justice League. I think that's the second print or seventh print, but it's signed by Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Allison Clare, and Jeff Johns. So you can see the dedicated signatures right here. Kid Impulse shall strike again soon. I hope you do, man. I hope you do, man. Shout out to all the cats watching this live on IG. Just letting you know, we will be doing call-ins very, very soon. But we're looking at some of the best signatures that are going to be coming out of this hoopla of Jim Lee signings that's happening all week long. These are from the first two. I'm not even done with King of Comics. This dude is, no, I think that was the last one. Now moving on. Now we're moving on to some of the Golden Apple signings. Shout out to my man Chris, the Endless Collection with this banger right here. Ta-da! How you like us now? Let's go ahead and soak that in. Let us know in the chat if you know of what you're looking at here. Let us know if you know the significance of the books that you're looking at right here. These all came out of the Jim Lee signings in Hollywood and Golden Apple. This is from the Golden Apple signing, but then there was one in North Hollywood at Collector's Paradise. And I got to commend my man Chris on the fabulous red signatures. These pop like a mug right here. These pop. I'm jealous of these. These are the absolute Batman Jim Lee variants. I believe this is a 1 out of 100 ratio variant. And this is absolute Superman #1 and absolute Wonder Woman #1. Jim Lee, Scott Williams, sketch variant. These are fantastic. This is from the Endless Collection. And this dude normally collecting art. Let us know what you talking about. Jim Lee, please come to Florida. That's my point right there. Now, see, you're just giving me all kind of alley-oops to claw. Because even if you went to Florida, this is what you're talking about. Okay? Now, these SIGs that you're seeing tonight were like $10 or free. But this, when he comes to Florida, this is what you got to pay per book. And that's raw. I'm not even talking about CGC stuff. This stuff here, this is just, this is why you have to support your local comic book shops, because your comic book shops might mess around and might could do some stuff like this for you. The only way this can happen is if the comic book shops make things happen like this. This is a fantastic book. And then here's another book by the Endless. And I love this Long Halloween sketch variant. And then he has absolute Batman #1 sketch variant. I'm talking about these are some of the hottest, latest Jim Lee sketch variants to date. I would argue that the absolute Batman sketch variant is the hottest sketch variant Jim Lee has to date right now. It's easily selling for $200 raw. And then you got this Long Halloween, which I didn't know existed, actually. I didn't know. I have this foil, but I didn't know that they did a sketch variant of it. So shout out to the Endless for always educating cats, man. You know what I mean? But once again, sometimes you got to give props on just the signature placement and the color choice. We talk about this all the time. Tony, the Signature King, and I, we're always strategizing and trying to figure out what's the best color of marker for the book that you're trying to get signed. I think that the Emmons did a fantastic job using this red on these sketch covers like this. I think he did a fantastic job. These are Jim Lee books that was signed on Wednesday during the release of Hush 2. During the release of Hush 2, he was at Golden Apple in Hollywood, and he was at Collector's Paradise in North Hollywood. Jim Lee is on this Hush tour, man, and it's fantastic. Let us know in the comments if you bought Hush 2. What do you think about Hush? What did you think about it? Did you think it was cool? I thought that a lot of interesting things happened in the first issue. So we're going to talk about that. And just let you know, we will be accepting call-ins later on. So you'll be able to join the live tonight. It'll be audio only. People will not be able to see you, but hear you. And we would like to know some kind of Jim Lee story, something that you like about Jim Lee, don't like about Jim Lee. You know, is he the GOAT? Whatever. We'll be able to talk about that tonight. But DeClaw saying here, if I had to pick one book for Jim to sign, it will be my Infinite Crisis #1 sketch variant. That book is rare and expensive. Yes. And I would love to show you that. I'll show you that next week. I have that signed. And I'll show you that. That's one of the first sketch variants I wanted from Jim Lee. And that will be an excellent choice. That will be a fantastic choice. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, it's that to me, that's worth the 50 bones if you're going to pay the 50 bones for Jim Lee. But moving on, there's more from the Golden Apple. Now, I mentioned Drunken B-Boy, my boy Stan. He took this picture of Jim Lee at Golden Apple. My man stayed 4:30 a.m. He was camping out Hollywood, California. This dude could have got abducted, you know, organs sold, you know what I mean? He could have did all kinds, you know, anything could have happened to him. Little dude in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Anything could have happened. That's how fools be acting for Jim Lee. They will get there early in the morning. I'm talking about 24 hours beforehand to wait on this guy. But it's worth it because he's $10 a sig. I mean, $50 a sig normally. So I'm about to show you some heat from Drunken Boy. So he made his time worth it. Boom. Okay. Now I was just on Whatnot Wednesday. I do a Whatnot Wednesday, and I was actually selling the Catwoman book, this Catwoman book. And I'm telling cats, there's not a ton of copies of that Catwoman book because it was like during that time where DC went to Lunar instead of Diamond. And so a lot of these 80th anniversaries got lost in the shuffle in 2020. But then, okay, the one on the left, this Hush, right? The dollar comics. I believe, I can't say this factually, but I think that Hush 608, Batman 608, is probably the most printed modern DC comic. It's probably the most printed DC comic now. Because it is reprinted and reprinted and reprinted. And I get it. This is a different cover. And I think it was only a buck. But, dude, let's let 608 die. Jesus. So many covers of 608. But Jimmy, like I said, he's like, you know, super popular guy. It's almost cultish, right? Cat stand 24 hours before the signings and stuff. You know, jockeying for position. It's crazy. But I got to say this right here. For a free sig, I probably would have got that Hush sign, but I definitely would have got the Catwoman sign. And he also has a sign by the Houdini of Hugh, Alex Sinclair, and Scott Williams on both books. And here's another one about Drunken B-Boy. This dude is another guy that's really particular about his ink choice and his signature placement. So everything about these books is deliberate. And then here we go. Like I said, another 80th anniversary. I would say of the bunch that Jim Lee did, the Robin cover was my favorite that he did of the 80th anniversary joints. And these all came out, like I said, in 2020. This book is like 15 to 20 bucks by itself just because it wasn't really printed a lot. And so I really like this, that he went with this Batman Robin motif. And he rocked the silver. And I'm just going to let you guys know, there's a term I say, look both ways before crossing the street. And what I mean by that is take your time when you're in a signing with these silver markers, because the silver markers dry super quick. So even if it's juicy on one, it might not be juicy on two. So always test the silver marker per book. Do not let these guys pressure you into getting some fadey ass signature. Okay. So don't let nobody, I don't care if it's Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, whoever, make sure they test those silver markers or it could be a mess. I'm just saying, you don't want to see no fadey ass silver. And then you definitely don't want somebody to go over their signature. You want a signature to be done once, not twice. So that's just my rule of thumb. But I just got to just show you guys these golden apple cigs. The Stash Fam brought. This is just beautiful right here. I just can't say enough about this. I mean, geez. I'm talking about this is what when we talk about Sig Slayers in the Sig Slayers station, this is what we're talking about here. Stuff like this. This is the epitome of why I like going to shows. So look, you saw Jim Lee. You got a bunch of stuff signed, immortalized in your collection. It doesn't get any better than that in my book, And so I just want to just shout out the Stash Fam for showing those and presenting those. Well, we still got more stuff because this was just Wednesday, I might add. And so today was also day one of Wondercon in Anaheim, California. And just to show you, my man Stan, he don't play around. So he was just with Jim Lee, right, on Wednesday. And then today he's in the Todd line. Seeing the Todd father today, And just so you know, getting a Todd McFarlane signature is like a line to a line to a line. You get a wristband and then you line up and you do this and you do that. You give him a secret handshake. And then next thing you know, an hour and a half later, you're talking to Todd. But my man Stan, the same guy who did this, and this, was at Todd McFarlane for this. Okay. Sig Slayers, Stash Fam, this is what we do. Okay. It's about checking off the list and breaking them wrists. Okay. Checking off the list and breaking wrists. Okay. And so I know for a fact Todd McFarlane got his wrist broke today by Drunken B-Boy Stan, aka the art director. He has a lot of different titles, but that was just, so we're talking about Todd, right? And this is all Stash Fam picks. This is all today. Okay. This happened today. And then boom, the homie Tone Alone runs into Todd McFarlane today at his hotel. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Just crazy. Runs into Todd McFarlane. And I don't care what anyone says about Todd McFarlane. He is one of the best. He is the man of the people. Personable. But even when he got to keep it moving and he don't have time to be sociable or whatever, he's not going to blow smoke up your ass. He's going to say, hey, I got to go. I can't do it. Peace. I got to go. Deuces. He just keeps it moving. He's not trying to be Hollywood and trying to act like he's, better than you or, no, he wants you to love that experience of meeting him. And here you go. Tone Alone. Shout out to Tone Alone. Now, this dude's from NorCal and he went to SoCal just for this moment right here. So this is like a 7-8 hour drive. And my man, and just so you know, this dude goes hard in the paint right here. Both of them, Tone Alone and Todd McFarlane, because we good at what we do too. So he hit me up with this today. I was like, no way. So I know, and this is the beginning of the day. This is the beginning of Friday, the beginning of the con. This is where you are playing with house money if cool things happen on the first day. And so if you meeting Todd McFarlane before you even get to the con, I think that's playing with house money. I think that's safe to say you're having a great day. Okay. And so this is Wondercon today. We were looking at Jim Lee earlier. Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane are going to be at WonderCon signing tomorrow. Okay, so Jim Lee is not at WonderCon today. The Todd father is. Okay. And Mark the Honorable Villain, my co-host, got a chance to see Todd McFarlane a couple times today. You know, this guy is everywhere, man. This dude, Mark, is literally everywhere. You know, he was over there with Jim Lee on Wednesday. And then he's karate kicking the door down with Todd McFarlane today. And then he's going to see Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane tomorrow. And he's our Mark is our talent coordinator. He's doing a fantastic job of getting the best interviews on YouTube right now. We just interviewed Eric Larson yesterday. That's dropping. We got Ken Lashley next week. And we might mess around and get the Todd father. So stay tuned for that. But if you look at our catalog in the year that we've been doing this channel and look at our interviews, you know, that's all Mark getting all that, the leg work. And so today, on the first day, WonderCon, Todd McFarlane, he's already chilling with him. He's already chilling with him. So like that's what I like, you know, about going to shows is getting those moments. Yes, you want to get your book signed, but it's those moments that might parlay to some stuff down the line. So it's all about connections, all about relationships, you know, as collaborators and as Sig Slayers. So you out there in these shows, you know, it's all about that connection you have with these creators and also, you know, really appreciating their work, not just coming off like you're a scavenger, coming off like you just want their Sig or their sketch, you know, like just being super thirsty. You don't want to be super thirsty, but you definitely want to keep it real and let them know that you've been rolling with them and stuff like that. And over time, you know, you never know what happened, you know, because people like to be appreciated too. So that's what's cool about this. That was the Stash fan pick. This was a hella fight. I'm just going to do another just go around. This was probably the best Stash fan pick of the week yet. This was absolutely bonkers. I mean, we're starting. I mean, look, this is what we got. This is what we got, and some of this is for you guys. So some of these books are going to be given to you guys, and that's the cool thing about this. So we're going to be giving some of these books away next week on next week's Stash Wars Live. But I mean, just absolutely murdering it. King of Comics. This is at Collector's Paradise. Shout out to Ed. He got Collector's Paradise Winnetka, Collector's Paradise Pasadena, and Collector's Paradise North Hollywood. This Jim Lee signing was on Wednesday in North Hollywood. Fantastic looking books. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. These are just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, that Michael Turner cover is just insane. I just love these, man. And then we're at Golden Apple now. Shout out to the Endless Collection. Absolute Batman. I mean, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. I think there's the ratio variants. And then here's Absolute Batman, the ratio variant. And then a ratio variant for The Last Halloween. This is just, you know, these are virtually free signatures. And just to remind you guys, if Jim Lee comes to your neck of the woods, be prepared to pay this much. So the homies got all of this for the price of just buying Hush, pretty much. You know, you bought Hush, you got a bunch of Sigs. Now, isn't that's the way it's supposed to be in my book. That's the way it's supposed to be. Like, I don't care what status of artist or creator you are. You know, there should be some opportunities like this for people. And it's just insane, man. If you definitely could be jealous. I would gladly pay for the Jim Lee experience. Yeah, I mean, I know, especially people have significant books in their collection that they would want Jim Lee, to have. So I totally agree. I totally agree. I just think that, he should, every now and then hit another state, do another comic book shop, not just Midtown Comics either, but, do something for another comic book shop. So spread the love around is what I'm saying. Because I'm telling you, this happened twice, okay, in one day within a 20-mile radius, maybe 15 miles. So these signings are like 15 to 20 miles apart the same day. So that's what I mean. Do another one at another shop somewhere else, somewhere far, But I'm not shading because, the Golden Apple Cat, like I said, my boy Chris got this, my boy Stan got that Golden Apple. My other homies got stuff at the other one, so I'm happy with that. But I do be feeling for the cats that be living everywhere else, That's all, but these are just insane. And then Todd McFarlane today. So I'm curious what Drunken B-Boy got signed by Todd. So this is what he did earlier, waiting in line, getting things crunk. And, Tone Alone just runs into him, at the hotel. Like, how lucky is that? You run into Todd McFarlane day one of the convention. Then you got my right-hand man right here, Mark the Honorable Villain, with Todd McFarlane. Saw him a few times. You're going to see him tomorrow. So next week's Stash Wars Live, we got so much stuff to unpack. And then finally, this is some, we've been talking about Planet Comic-Con, and we've been unpacking other shows week by week, and just now we just showed you WonderCon, right? But then, this is also Stash Fan Pick of the Week, and this was from last week's show. And here's our guy, Doug Mankey, and he was at Planet Comic-Con last week. And this is Doug sketching. Shout out to Brad Voff, who hooked this footage up for us. But, Doug Mankey is, he has animations, his YouTube animations on this channel. And you see he's whipping up a Batman right there. And, so this is, footage, original footage, exclusive footage, straight from Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City last week. And Doug Mankey, when we say we're covering these shows for you guys all over from coast to coast. Stash Fam is all over the world. But I wish I was at this one. I was supposed to be there. And so I wish I was able to. But unfortunately, I couldn't. But luckily, I got, friends in high places that's able to produce the footage. I was trying to get pictures of Doug, for some of our projects and stuff like that. And so I was glad that they were able to. And I actually see Maria Wolf in the background too. So yeah, this is Doug Mankey. Once again, shout out to Brad Voth for making sure that we had some footage of Planet Comic-Con. Like I said, this was last week. And each week we're going to be, because like now we're in the heart of convention season. And there's going to be pretty much a show every weekend. And so we'll be unpacking, doing our signature price guides like we normally do. And give you guys firsthand experience. Hopefully we're showing you guys dope stuff. And so, yeah, my man Doug Mankey. Right now, I'm really curious what you guys have to say. I'm about to put this up on the chat real quick. Please let us know. Let us know what you guys think I just put a link in the comments. This will be an audio call. You click the link. I want to know about Jim Lee, any Jim Lee stories, your favorite Jim Lee book in your collection, your favorite Jim Lee story. Give us a call. Who will be our first caller ever on Stash Wars Live? The link is in the comments right now. Click the link and join the live, and let's talk about Jim Lee. We've been all over the place. I've been showing you guys stuff from Wondercon. Jim Lee's going to be at Wondercon tomorrow. What's your favorite Jim Lee story? What's your favorite Jim Lee experience? Let us know. Join right now. Join the live. Click the link in the comments. And yeah, it'll be an audio call, audio only call. And I just want to know what y'all thinking. What y'all think about Jim Lee? What are you guys thinking about these books? What are you guys thinking about some of the giveaway that we're going to be doing? Let us know what's up, you know. So we're gonna have that link open, and whenever somebody wants to join in, just click that link, and then we'll talk. I definitely want to talk about Jim Lee. So that's the theme of the night. Anything Jim Lee related, Jim Lee trivia, stuff that people want you want to educate people on. That's what we're all about here on Sig Slayers. Let us know what's up. So the link is in the comments. Just click it, and then boom, let us know. Let us know. So yeah, so moving on, and like I said, whenever someone wants to hop on, we will have a chat. But I'm going to keep moseying along and talk about more about Hush. You know what I mean? I definitely want to talk more about Hush. It's Hush week. I'm a huge Batman fan. Okay, so there's Batman everywhere around here. And so I'm really curious to know what everyone is thinking about the sequel to Hush. I mean, it's 20-something years later. Is it a story worth telling? There was already Hush stories after the first Hush. So I wonder what makes this a sequel. There was Hush Returns, Heart of Hush. So there were other Hush stories. So I'm curious to know why the story needs to be told, but I don't care. If it's just to show Jim Lee do interiors, I'm cool with that. If it's to show Jim Lee doing, Batman, I'm cool with that. I read the issue, Batman 158, and it definitely feels like a sequel to Hush. It reads like Hush. It has the dialogue pacing is like Hush, but I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious. I don't want to spoil anything, but it just came out. But I'm curious to see where it goes. It was a lot of crazy moments that happened, and it wasn't like it took up the entire page count of the book. I think it had a Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter preview in there, so it didn't have the full page count of the comic. So a lot happened in that short amount of time, and so I'm curious to know what are you guys thinking about Hush, about Jim Lee. Click the link in the comments and let us know. Join the live and give us your commentary for an audio call. But there's a lot of things when I think about Jim Lee on interiors, because there's a lot. He's a legend. He does a lot of covers, doesn't do a lot of pages. And as a fan of Jim Lee, you want to see Jim Lee in pages, and usually when he's involved with interiors is with a good writer. So he's got Jeff Loeb, and it's going to be a high quality story. So you already sign me up, and it's going to sell 6-figure copies no matter what, right? But then as a collector, right, more Jim Lee stuff to get signed. If you are an art collector, oh my gosh, you have the opportunity to get Jim Lee original art. And if you are amongst the few people to actually get your hands on Jim Lee original pages, geez. And I kind of keep my hand in all of the comings and goings of of the comic book collecting world, and I was really excited to see what kind of art was going to be available, because for the people that don't know, for years comic books was drawn traditionally with pencils and ink, but as we get more and more into the future, things are being more digital and digitized, and so the original art and all of those artifacts are becoming fewer and fewer because it's not being produced as much. So Jim Lee, a person with of that status, being able to, still get away with drawing traditionally and still, create popular books, to see how much would a page go for? How much does Jim Lee art cost? If I wanted to buy some original artwork from Jim Lee, how much would it be? And so that's what we're going to talk about right now. So we are on Albert Moy's website. And for all the people that don't know, Albert Moy is Jim Lee's art rep. And so Jim Lee has his artwork available on Albert Moy's website. And what you're looking at are original pages for sale that are from Batman 158, Hush 2, that just came out this week on Wednesday. And right now you're seeing a crazy scene right now. But what's crazier than seeing this is the price. $9,000. Let us know if you can freak that. Let us know you picking this up. Let us know if this is something you copping. But wait, there's more. I want to see if there's some fresh one. Let's see this thing. Let's see, what's this show? Let's blow this one up. This is, man. Jim Lee and Scott Williams, they're great. Now, what I wonder, this is a different costume. It looks like an older costume. So, like, is this a retro story or something? Because the costume looks kind of older. Everything looks kind of like Batman from the early 2000s. This is the one right here. I absolutely love this. It's fantastic. Joker getting pinned up. This is crazy with a bunch of Jokers in the background. But guess what, dude? It's a freaking car. 30 grand? Are you kidding me? Jeez. $30,000. So, like, the comic books is the closest thing you can really get to some. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna pick this up. I'm gonna monitor this one. I want to know when this gets sold. 30 grand. But it's a fantastic page. Jeez. I'm just gonna show a couple more. Like, dude, you got Jim Lee Joker. Like, dude, this is insane. This is what people, this is what people love. Jim Lee Joker. Jeez, man. Let me know if you was a millionaire, would you drop 11 grand on this? How do you, man, like, oh. Okay, so this one's already kind of probably already bought. It's another one. A lot have been sold. Okay. Here we go. 75,000. Now, this is the connecting cover. It's crazy. Man. And these are going to get bought. These will not last the whole year. These will be gone. 75 grand in all. I guarantee you these books will be gone. This book is this page is 10,000. Wow. Let me know. Let me know if you big baller shot caller. Let me know if you a big baller shot caller on that one, man. Because 10 grand. $10,000. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me show one more. Jim Lee art from Hush. Ooh, this is not Hush, but dang, I love this cover. I have this book. I didn't know this was available for the low price of 55 grand. Jeez, this is a bargain. Sign me up. Wow. And this is all Jim Lee, no Scott Williams. Man, I can nerd out. I can nerd out on this stuff all day. I can nerd out on this stuff all day. But I'm curious. I'm curious to find out what you guys think. Join the chat. The link is in the comments. Let me know. Let us know what you think about Jim Lee. Join the comments. You can join the chat right now and let us know what you think. Is Jim Lee the GOAT? Is Jim Lee your GOAT? Is Jim Lee the best comic book artist in the game? Where would you put Jim Lee? Is Hush the best Batman modern story? Is it the best Jim Lee work with DC? What are your thoughts? Let us know. I'm curious, man. I would love to have a conversation with somebody tonight about comics. All you got to do is click the link in the comments and we could chop it up about Hush, Jim Lee, your favorite show, because we've been definitely talking about WonderCon and Mark the Honorable Villain already with Todd McFarlane. This is from today. This is from today. I'm curious if you were meeting Jim Lee for a signing, what would be your book of choice? What would you get signed by Jim Lee? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. The link is in the comment as well. If you want to join this live for an audio only call. Yeah, like I said, I'm curious to know. We talk about Jim Lee all the time. We're always at conventions, in line for hours, and we talk about these things. We talk about signature pricing, who's expensive, who's cheap, or when are the opportunities to get expensive signatures for cheap. We're talking about Jim Lee tonight, and we're talking about Hush too. Definitely want to know what you will get signed by Jim Lee. This is from the King of Comics. This is one of many. I think he got 20 books signed or something like that, he told me. He got hella books signed. Like hella books. And so I'm curious to know what would you get signed if you were to meet Jim Lee? This Michael Turner right here, I don't know what to say, man. He got the Gene Ha remark on here. Like, he hooked this up. I think we may have hooked him up with the Brad Meltzer. I think I had this book in my hand last year. So I think because I'm starting like Brad Meltzer, unless he saw Brad Meltzer in New York. But I know we got some Brad Meltzers for him. I don't know if this is the Brad Meltzer. But then Jim Lee at Golden Apple. I could look at these books all day, man. I swear I could. I could. Homies being Todd. This is the life right here. This is the life of a con hooligan. This is the life of a con hooligan right here. You know? And so yeah, I want to know what you thought about Hush 2. I'm curious what you thought about Hush 2. Did you pick it up? What cover you get? You know, I thought this was my favorite one from all of the ones because it has all the covers. It has this cover, which is the cover A image. It has this cover because it's a gatefold, and it has this cover. So to me, pound for pound, this was the best. This was the best Hush cover for me. And the virgin one of the cover A, I think it's like $50 to $100, and this is virgin, so it's like, what's the difference? And I think the blue is cooler than the orange. I thought they should have made this one the 1 out of 50 or whatever it was, because I actually like the coloring on this one just because of the blue and the night. So yeah, what was your favorite Hush cover that you got this week? Are you a Jim Lee fan? Do you even care? I thought it was a big deal when they announced that Hush 2 is dropping. I thought it was a big deal. So this week, it was, something that we marked our calendars, and this is just some of the loot that we got, and some of these books, these Hush 2, especially if you subscribe to the channel, we're going to be giving away signed copies of Batman Hush 2 next week on the Sig Slayers Station Stash Wars Live. We will also be giving away a Jim Lee Hex bag right here. We're giving this away too, brand spanking new. We're giving this joint away. Okay, this is all next week. We will be collaborating with the Southern Comic Geek, the Signature King. So please subscribe to all three of our channels: Sig Slayers Station, Southern Comic Geek, and the Signature King. And we will be giving this out next Friday. It's going to be fantastic. So definitely check that out. But also, we're going to be giving away a Hush 2. We got to see what we just got this week, right? So we've been following Jim Lee all around. We definitely want to know what's your favorite, Jim Lee moment. Let us know. There's a link in the chat right now. Let us know what you think about Jim Lee. This will be an audio only call, so no one will know. It'll be completely anonymous. If you don't like Jim Lee, you hate Jim Lee, you can say it. You love Jim Lee, you can say it, and no one will know. But everyone will know what you thought at the same time, and that's what we want. We want to be able to open this up, because there's things that we talk about that moves the hobby, that moves the culture, but it never really gets spoken out loud. And so I want to talk about Hush and its significance. Is it Jim Lee's best work of his career? Some people think that his Batman stuff trumps Jim Lee's work on X-Men, which I think is wow. But there's that argument. What is Jim Lee's most pivotal work? Is it his work with DC? He's been with DC way longer than any company. Or is it Jim Lee's work with Marvel? Let us know. Join the chat. The link is in the comment. All you got to do is click that link and join the chat for an audio call, and we can chop it up about Jim Lee, man, and Hush 2, because that's where we're on right now. We're talking about Hush 2 and all the slew of Stash Fan picks that I got this week. And then we got Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane tomorrow. So the action don't stop. The topic of the night is Jim Lee takes over LA. And on Wednesday, he was at Golden Apple. And then he was also at Collector's Paradise in North Hollywood. Jim Lee took over LA, man. And these lucky guys spent $10 and got damn near every Jim Lee they wanted signed. It was truly one of those days that, you know, if you do experience FOMO, yeah, you got FOMO. But no, he didn't sketch nothing for nobody though. Okay, so Jim didn't sketch nothing for no one. I had homies that asked who were the balls, had the balls to even ask Jim Lee for a sketch. You saw those people in line. You don't ask for a sketch when you got all those damn people in line. You keep it moving. But I just want to let you know that I didn't see anybody. There might be at least one person that got a sketch. So there's always at least one. And so I'm curious to see if Jim Lee actually did a sketch. This is Jim Lee at Golden Apple in Hollywood. And so, yeah, it's Hush 2 week. And then, I mean, for the people that are just hopping on, please smash the like button, like this live, and follow and subscribe to the Sig Slayers station. And if you're on Instagram right now, follow Stash Wars. This is Stash Wars Live. Follow Stash Wars Comics. We're talking about Jim Lee. We also showed Jim Lee art from Hush 2. Jim Lee, look at this. The actual cover. That's the original cover for Hush 2. I wonder how much that cost. I wonder how much that ran. I'm curious about that. But yeah, join the chat. Let us know. We want to engage with the comic book community, especially on YouTube. There's a link in the comment. You will not be seen. You only be heard to be an audio call. We want to know about Jim Lee. Is Jim Lee your favorite artist? Is Hush 2 something that you picked up this week? What do you think about Jeff Loeb and his return with The Last Halloween, which is a sequel that of Long Halloween? And then now we have Hush 2, obviously the sequel of Hush. And so let me know about your thoughts about Jeff Loeb and how he's making his return back to DC and the kind of splash plays he's making with his former collaborators. Let us know that. You can tell us anything comic book related. That's what we're here for. But Hush 2 and Jim Lee taking over LA was the theme of the day. And then like I said, I want to remind everyone once again, we're going to be doing a giveaway next week. We're giving away Jim Lee Hex bag, and we'll be giving away signed copies of Hush, signed by Jim Lee. So we'll give away a couple of these for you guys, because we know it's hard out here. It's hard out here trying to get Jim Lee Sigs, and so we're definitely gonna do that. Would love for you guys to call in, but if not, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Okay, and that is always our Sig Slayers updates. Okay, Sig Slayers updates is we got stuff cracking left and right. And I'm just going to begin with the weekly stuff. We got Whatnot Wednesday. So that's Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So every Wednesday on Whatnot, we have a different theme sale. We did all Jim Lee last week. So we did a whole Whatnot of nothing but Jim Lee covers and Jim Lee books. This week we did all signed comics. And next week, I'm here to announce on the Sig Slayers updates, I will be selling all villains covers. So it'll be villains, a little mixture of signed villains, a little mixture of unsigned villains, but cool villains. So we are curating that drop next week. And then we're curating that drop on Sunday. I take that back. So that is next week, but Sunday. Then we also have weekly drops on eBay, and that we got stuff from Silver Age all the way down to modern. Blanks, if you like blank covers, you go to shows and you're looking for getting sketches, commissions, con sketches from your favorite artists, and you're looking for a blank, we got a lot of blanks, and we are uploading blanks, and we even have Hush blanks. So if you're looking for a Hush blanks, we have those OG Hush and new Hush blanks. and as well as other stuff. So definitely check out our eBay store. We got hundreds of stuff on there right now, and then and counting each week, and then Whatnot. We're starting off on Wednesday, but we'll make more announcements about our Whatnot streams, additional Whatnot streams in future lives. And then finally, on the Sig Slayers station, our interview of the week, we have the lead killer, Ken Lashley, joining us, man. And this is the first time this is the first time Ken Lashley will be joining us on the Sig Slayers station. I've interviewed Ken a bunch. This will be like my fourth or fifth time, but this is the first time on this home, and I'm looking forward to talk about all things Ken Lashley, all things Lead Killer, talking about Marvel, Predator versus Wolverine, all kind of covers. It's going to be great. And he also said that on one of our upcoming lives that he will do a live stream and draw. So, stay tuned and always tap in on the Sig Slayers station, because we will be bringing some of your favorite creators straight to you, straight here on the Sig Slayers station. And then I want to talk about the process with David Barron. We will be resuming. Well, we're already resuming with that. And the process will be dropping the second week in April. And we're doing a new format. So it's going to be cool. We're going to have some guests. You'll be able to interact with David as well. And then what else? And then, like I said before, next week, we're going to be doing a giveaway, giving away some Hush to celebrate our 10,000 subscribers. And so we'll be giving away issues of Hush next Friday with some homies, Jason, Southern Comic Geek, and Tony, the Signature King. We will be chilling with them, as well as giving away this sick, brand spanking new Jim Lee Hex bag. We're going to be giving this away next Friday. But before we go, anybody that's hopping in, anybody just hopped in right now that want to join the chat, the link is in the comments. And we're talking about Jim Lee. Like I said, we're talking about Jim Lee. We're talking about what's your favorite Jim Lee. We're talking about, hey, did you get Hush 2? I think Hush 2 is going to be this year's absolute Batman. I think Hush 2 is going to be the top selling comic of the year. And then I'm curious to see what happens when Batman #1 drops in September, if they can have this kind of push. But I think it's going to be hard to follow Jim Lee and company after Hush. But I still think Batman #1 will have a lot of numbers. But I think that we're looking at probably the top selling comic of 2025 right before us. And we're only in March still, heading into April. So let us know in the chats. What do you think about Jim Lee, Hush 2, Jeff Loeb returning back to DC with sequels of popular titles? And then, what do you think about these? These are just fantastic. These is just Jim Lee signing this week. Shout out to all the Stash fam that let me show these. I don't know what's my favorite. What's y'all favorite? You got, this is classic. These are classic, but some of this new stuff, like this one, I love the Michael Turner. But this here, I don't know. I'm a sucker for Jim Lee sketch variants. So I don't know. Like, what's your favorite one? Then you got this. This is a, modern take on the classic. And then you got the error variant. This right here, though. These were all virtually free Jim Lee SIGs. And I can't stress enough. This is why those pictures are important. Because we wouldn't have all of these books signed for you guys We wouldn't be able to give away these books if they cost this. You know, we had to pay $50, $60 a Sig. Dude, no way. No flipping way. So, because he was at Golden Apple, and Collector's Paradise, we were able to get hooked up. And we're able to hook you guys up next Friday. Some free Jim Lee Sigs on Hush 2. If you subscribe to the Sig Slayers station and join the fastest growing comic book channel on YouTube that's creating content for some of your favorite comic book creators. But right now, we're talking about Jim Lee, and then we got my man Mark here today chilling with Todd McFarlane. This is all a day. This is today. This is what's happening today and tomorrow. So we're going to get some more footage of Todd and Jim tomorrow. Signing. I got another homie running to Todd McFarlane at the hotel. So this is why we do Stash Wars Live, to show you guys, there's a lot of stuff happening all over the place. Every weekend there's a show, and there's somebody just like you who loves comics making it happen, and that's what we represent, the cats that make it happen. Another guy waiting in line for Todd, who also provided these. Excellent. So, Jim Lee was all over the place. And he's going to be at WonderCon, which is where Todd is at right now. He's going to be there tomorrow. Jim Lee's going to be there tomorrow. My man Mark, the Honorable Villain, the co-host of the show, he's with Todd now. And then, since we're talking about Hush, I just want to shout out Comics 2099. Since we're talking about Hush, this is probably the most rare Hush ever. I'm dying, but it was a good day. Hey, Mark, test the stream out. Hey, test that link out. Let's see if it works. Test that stream. It's fantastic. Yeah, this is the most rare Hush out. And it's, signed by everybody with a little doodle. I had to just show that because it's just, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope, Yeah, it's the Mark the Honorable Villain. He's in the chat.
Yo, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can I hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Walking out. Oh, cool.
So everybody, this Mark the Honorable Villain. So you at WonderCon still right now?
Just walking out. Con ended 7:00 sharp. Shut everything down. Walking to my car right now. It was a good day though.
It's a good day. So you saw Todd McFarlane, right?
Yeah. I saw him twice.
You saw him twice. What was it like seeing Todd today?
Cool, man. They made everything a conveyor belt, but like we were talking earlier, Todd's a cool guy, man, and he'll talk to everyone. He'll make you feel special. He'll give you the time that you deserve, And then the same thing when I took a picture with him. Talked to me again and everything. So I talked to him about some special things. So hopefully we have something coming up with. I'm gonna go eat right now, man. I'm tired. I don't think I can hear you, Mike.
Is Todd McFarlane cool in person?
Did you ask me that right now?
Yeah. Is he cool in person?
Man, Todd's the coolest, man. That guy's a rock star. He comes up with his jacket and everything, man. He's fly as hell.
I'm kind of beside myself, man, because you've been kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
This whole week, you know. And while I have you, I'm just showing them the Hush 2s that you got. How many Jim Lees did you get this week at the signings?
So for sure, I got, I think 20. 20
You
in
got
total.
20 Jim Lees?
Yeah.
What's up? Hey, SEG's in the house. Hey, call in SEG. The link is in the description. An audio call. I gotta get your take on Jim Lee.
Can you have multiple colors?
I'm doing one at a time tonight. If he hops on, I'll end with you. But right now, we're talking about Jim Lee, and I want to know how chaotic that signing was on Wednesday.
Well, I went to the Collector's Paradise signing, and I had a ticket. For sure, I was guaranteed to get my Jim Lee signed. I took my nephew with me, get a few extra books signed, and it went like clockwork, man. People got in line. Ed set it up well. The only thing is that some people were taking long, and it went over its regulated time, so it went to about 3. It went to about 2:00 when it's supposed to end at 1. And
okay, hey, SEG's on. I'm gonna hit you later. I gotta ask him some Jim Lee questions, man.
all right, for sure.
Hey, much love. We gonna unpack all this next Friday.
All right, see you, man.
All right, man. Peace. SCG.
What's up?
Hey, man. Hey, we talking about Jim Lee, man. I know you on the road. And I know you don't got much time, but I just got to ask you because we're talking about Hush 2, and I was showing Albert Moy pages. I was showing signings. I've been showing all things Hush 2 all week. So my question to you, SEG, did you pick it up, and what are your initial thoughts about this new sequel?
So I have not picked it up because it's sitting in my pool box at my LCS. So I have seen the pages by Albert Moy. They've been fantastical. They have fantastical prices too.
Wow.
Which, Jim stuff generally does. But, I was actually wanting a Batgirl Nightwing page. Didn't even have Batman on it. And he wanted $9,000 for it, but it's already sold. But yeah, I mean, I've been hearing the hype. We'll see if the hype's real. I haven't read it yet myself to be able to give firsthand knowledge.
Okay, so SEG, so we're on next Friday, and we're giving away the Hex bag.
Yep, that's correct.
So we're giving away the Hex bag, and we're giving away a couple signed copies of Hush as well to add to the mystique. And so I'm hoping that you're real, but I don't want to unpack. I don't really like to talk about the story that much, but there's some things that happen in it, and I have some questions about, and I just want to kind of talk about it next week. And
I'll read it by then. Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing, it's not like it has a preview of the Martian Manhunter new story that's coming out. So it's not really, Hush is not really a full length story, but a lot of stuff happens in it. So I'm curious to get your take on it, especially as we do our giveaways next week and talk about things, man. But hey, man, SCG, man, I really appreciate you hopping on and joining. I'll be in touch with you real soon so we can collaborate on our live next week.
Sounds good.
You take care, brother.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, man. Join the line. The link is in the comments. We're having a good time, and that was dope. I definitely had to hear what my guys had to say about that. Mark the Honorable Villain came in, you know, Todd McFarlane. This is just today. And then we got Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane tomorrow at a dual signing at WonderCon. And then just because I didn't, only showed it once, but this is actually last week. And I should have asked SCG about this while he was on. But then we had Doug Mankey. Doug Mankey was at Planet Comic Con. Oh my God. Curated, click the link. Join the chat. It's only audio. It's only audio. Click the link in the comments. I definitely want to talk to you about Jim Lee. You are the Jim Lee guy. Click the link. Look in the comments. Click that link. Curated. I definitely want. It's all audio only. You will not be seen. And so I would love to talk to you about Jim Lee. Kira Graded's in the house. That's my guy, all the way from Canada. No, wait a minute. I think Kira Graded's in Anaheim right now, and at Anaheim for WonderCon. Doug was there drawing Swamp Thing while you were there. Yeah, I got to show that again so people could see, the Doug stuff too. So Doug Mankey, who's also part of this channel, cool animations. Please check out Doug Mankey Silver Surfer. Like, check out that short. That's like, I think, my favorite one. The Doug Mankey Silver Surfer. But this is Doug Mankey last week at Planet Comic Con. And he's just doing his magic here. And he told me no matter how many times he draws Batman, he doesn't get sick of drawing Batman. And that's the kind of guy I like. Somebody that loves Batman just as much as I do. Okay. This is him over at Planet Comic Con. Shout out to Brad Vaught for hooking us up. I was supposed to be at this show, couldn't make it. SEG was there, and he said he was drawing a Swamp Thing there. I think that was very cool. Yeah, Doug Mankey's one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist, and it's such an honor to create content with him here on this channel. Let us know what you think about Jim Lee, Hush 2, Jeff Loeb returning back to DC, doing sequels like Last Halloween and Hush 2. That's what we want. The link is in the comments. I'm going to throw it in there one more time. The link is in the comments. If you guys want to join and have a conversation. I can't believe this guy said this. I got a Hush interior page. Jesus. And just so you guys know, that's cool. I wonder which one you got. You got to tell me later. Hit me up later. We are talking about Hush all day. We have the link in the comments. You said you can't hear? Can you hear me now? Oh, I know why. I get it. I know when I did this, I didn't add myself to it. Thank you for that, Mark. Now I'm on this one. But back to this. I want to know about Hush, man. Like Jim Lee. For the people that just hopping in the chat, we've been talking about Jim Lee all night. Look at what we got. We're giving this stuff away, some of the stuff away next week. Jim Lee was signing like hotcakes this week on Wednesday for the release of Batman 158 Hush. And you know, so many people were getting stuff signed. Look at this stuff, man. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Look at this. What would you get signed by Jim Lee? You know, especially for free. And so that's why we're opening up the lines. There is a link in the chat. This will be an audio only call. We just want to know what you're thinking about Jim Lee, Jeff Loeb, Allison Clare, Scott Williams. And look what cats are getting. Look what cats got this week. I mean, these are rare covers right here. These are bangers. Absolute bangers. It's Jim Lee at Golden Apple. Tomorrow, he's going to be joining the Todd father. You see Mark the Honorable Villain already there. So much foil. Tony would be proud. Absolutely. Glenn Rockham. Let me know about Jim Lee. Click the link. Let us know what you think about Jim Lee today. There's so much cool stuff. My homeboy ran into Todd McFarlane at the hotel. He ran into Todd McFarlane at the hotel. So it was already a rock star day, first day of WonderCon. You know, dudes in line, got his toddy. Mark the Honorable Villain already got Todd's, kicking down the doors with Todd McFarlane. You know, earlier this week, dudes is getting hella Jim Lee signed. It's just crazy. Glenn Ackham, shout out to you. Yeah, Jim Lee's one of the best artists, for sure. For sure, he's one of the best artists. This is all stuff cats got virtually for free at Golden Apple and then at Collector's Paradise in North Hollywood. And just so you know, people were camping out from like 1 in the morning to 11 a.m. and then 4 a.m. at the other spot to 3 p.m. Like insane amount of camping out happening for Jim Lee. Okay. But it was worth it because it's free. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jim Lee is $50-$60 a signature. It's $50-$60. But these were free this week. Golden Apple. Or for the price. You bought your Hush too. You got about 5 signatures. So make them count like in the Endless Collection did right here. Look at this, man. Bananas. Let us know what you think. What would you get signed? The link is in the chat. Give us a call. The link is in the chat. Give us a call. What would you get signed from Jim Lee? Is Jim Lee the greatest artist of all time in comics? Because there's people that believe that. Is Jim Lee the best comic book artist of all time? Oh, somebody told me. Oh, no sound. I'm glad they told me to fix that. He's one of my favorite Punisher artists. You know what? That people don't talk enough about Jim Lee and his Punisher days, right? Definitely. To me, everything he does is good. You know, it's like either you like that type of style or you don't. Where would you rank Jim Lee? Where would you rank him? You know, and also, where would you rank these prices on Jim Lee's art? Let's get a nice one right here, a nice affordable one. This is an affordable Jim Lee page right here. Right here. It's affordable. Where would you rank that? Right. Price is crazy. That price is crazy, man. I can't even say affordable with a straight face. Like, that's just insane. But foil, do you have your sunglasses? Are you ready for your foil attack? Your plan has been foiled. And then here we go. These are classics to me. These are classics. But we're going to be giving some of these away next week. When the band comes back together, everybody's kind of on the road right now. And I'm holding it down in the Sig's layer. I'm live from the Sig's layer. Generally my number one favorite artist. And second, okay, Glenn, we are kindred spirits because Alex Ross is definitely in my top 5. Alex Ross is a beast. Alex Ross, and just look at this Michael Turner. All eyes on this Michael Turner book. All eyes on this Michael Turner book right here. Hey guys, join the chat, man. Like click the link. You won't be seen. Audio only. Let's talk about Jim Lee. I'm eager to engage with the audience to know. I mean, how many Jim Lee signatures you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got more than 10, less than 10, you got more than 50, less than 50, you got more than 100. Tell me in the chat if you got at least 100 Jim Lee signatures. Let me know. Let me know if you got 100 or less. Like somewhere between 85 and 100 gems. Let me know. That's a story, because if you do, I already know how you roll. I already know how you roll. If you got over 100 Jim Lee signatures, I already know how you roll. And I would love to have that dialogue with you tonight. I know cats like Drunken B-Boy. He's probably in that 100 Jim Lee club or more. He's in that 100 Jim Lee club or more. This dude's been in the game for a minute. I want to know those Jim Lee vets. Who are the guys that got Jim Lee stuff like crazy? You know. And before I get out of here, man, I just want y'all to know we are going to be showing you all kind of footage from Wondercon throughout the week, throughout the weekend. Make sure you're following Stash Wars Comics on Instagram, because that's when we'll be showing a lot of our on-the-scene footage. I meet Jim Lee here. You met Jim Lee in Montana? Now, I wonder where the claw's at. I know that. Now, that would piss me off if I live in Florida and Jim Lee went to Montana before Florida. That's wild. I would be a little bit haterish right there. But hey, big ups. Hey, man, that is not a common place to meet Jim Lee in Montana. And shout out to you for joining us here tonight. Shout out to you, Glenn. Yeah, Jim Lee in Montana. That is crazy. Jim Lee in Montana. Wow. Like, wow. You know, to me, that's like, wow. That's kind of a random place. Okay, so wrapping things up, I just want to let you guys know, be sure to subscribe to the Sig Slayers station, because we are going to be giving away some of these beauties next week on Stash Wars Live. We'll be back here 9 o'clock Eastern on Friday, 6 o'clock Pacific on Friday. Shout out to everybody that commented, whether you're on Instagram or on YouTube. We love it all. I will have a full panel next week. Okay, I'm solo holding it down, but I'm holding it down showing y'all heat, though. I'm holding it down showing y'all things that only Sig Slayers do. We showing you guys Sig Slayer business right here. So although I'm here alone tonight, look, I got homies meeting Todd at the damn hotel. Just running into Todd nonchalantly and shit. Like, how does that just happen? You know? And so we're going to be giving away a Jim Lee Hex bag next week, too. So we're giving away Jim Lee Hex bag, SEG, Signature King, Sig Slayers Station. We are all combining like Voltron next week. Oh, so he was in So Jim Lee was in Montana 18 years ago. Okay, I don't feel so bad then. That was like that random time. That one time he was there. Like, when is he gonna be there again? That's crazy. Hey, like, did you get anything signed from Jim, or was it like you just ran into him? Was it a convention? Like, now I'm curious. You saw Jim Lee in Montana? That's about as random as it gets in my mind. How it computes things. Jim Lee in Montana, New York City. It's like it reminds me of that. Like, the old Pace Picani commercial. Now I'm aging myself. But anyway, concluding, like I said, we will be having the lead killer himself, man. The lead killer himself, Ken Lashley, on the show. So if you are a Marvel fan, you are an X-Men universe fan, if you're a Predator Wolverine fan, if you're a Predator cover fan, if you're a fan of the lead killer, you definitely want to watch this. Shout out to Jay, the first guy to recognize me on the street at Collectors. Oh, Jay, yeah, Jay. So you figured out who the dude was. Perfect, man. Yeah, shout out to Jay, man. Shout out to all the people that's been rocking with us. Let your homies know that we're here every Friday, chopping it up, talking about con hooligan business, okay? Con hooligan business, all right? But then also, if you're interested in any of the books that we have that you see and stuff, we do have a live Whatnot every Wednesday, Whatnot Wednesday. That is 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll be streaming live on Whatnot, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then we got weekly drops on eBay. And we're talking about Silver Age all the way to modern. We're doing it all. I'm just, I'm just curious. Like, whenever Jim Lee's signing and stuff like that, it's like a holiday for us. It's literally like a holiday for us. And this week is like Jim Lee week. So I'm talking to cats I haven't talked to in like a year or months, and everybody's gearing up. Everybody's, getting their gyms ready, being very strategic, the whole nine. And so this is the kind of week, and then it's bleeding into WonderCon. So this week is going to be crazy here. I'm going to be chopping up video all week. This is the kind of week I love, when there's a lot of stuff happening to give to you guys, to provide to you guys. So be sure to follow Stash Wars Comics on Instagram, because you never know, I might drop mad stuff there and then maybe lag on YouTube. But I'm definitely going to be dropping some stories, some shorts from for YouTube of WonderCon and other things like the Collector's Paradise signing and stuff like that. So you'll see some actual video footage of that. He came to a comic book store signing in Montana 18 years ago. Wow. So D-Claw, you just got to hope he goes to a comic book shop. And that's what you want. So I pray that Jim Lee can come to a comic book store, near you, so you can get stuff like this signed for yourself. And because we know a lot of you guys can't, we're going to give some stuff away. Okay? So this is what we got here, and this is what we do. And so thank you also. I just want to say use this time to thank all the people that has been rocking with us and that's already subscribed to the Sig Slayers station, man. I just can't believe it. The channel is growing. But definitely, please, we want more and more people to see. We want everybody that's into comics, comic collecting, signatures, art, all the comic stuff, stories. If you in the animation, all of that, we have it here. Interviews every week. We have interviews. This week we have next week we have Ken Lashley. This week, meaning yesterday, we have Mark Morales, and we talked about Secret Invasion and the impact of comics on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a whole bunch of other sort of things about Mark's career. But we definitely get into the Marvel IP and how it relates to the MCU. So every week we're talking about stuff. We just interviewed Eric Larson, one of the Image founders, last night. So we're going to be dropping that sometime in the near future. I'll be making a new schedule for the upcoming episodes of Sig Slayers, and probably next week or so. He wasn't charging you. You were able to get 3 books. See what I'm saying? That's the kind of situation we want people to have with Jim Lee. I would love for everyone to get more Jim Lees in their collection, especially, there's so many dedicated fans. And like, I mean, look at this, man. Like, cats in LA were so lucky this week. So this is the type of stuff. And then, yeah, here you go. And then you're ultra lucky, you're getting out your elevator, and then you run into Todd McFarlane on your way to the convention. How awesome is that? And then, just nonchalantly kicking it with Todd McFarlane, taking pictures with him. So that's all for the show today. I just wanted to be able to give the Stash fan an opportunity to show their loot from this week, because it was a huge Jim Lee week. But then also stay tuned for more content related to WonderCon, and then we'll be talking about C2E2 next week, as well as a full panel next Friday. So we will definitely have the Southern Comic Geek joining us, the Signature King, and Mark the Honorable Villain will be back joining us on Stash Wars Live next Friday. So definitely know we will be dropping another live this week, this upcoming week. A little thing for my collection. I have a Steve D letter signed from him. I'm curious what Steve D is. I'm not that knowledgeable about non-DC stuff, especially old school stuff. So I don't know what Steve D is. Let me know who is Steve D. But before we go, please, if you are already in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will stay on if you want to join. The link is in the chat. I just dropped the link. Mark, you want to hop back on? You can hop back on. Anybody want to hop on? Click that link, and we can talk. We can talk about Hush. We can talk about a lot of stuff. I just want to give people opportunities. Yeah, let me see with this. Ditko. Oh, he said, that says, Ditko. What about Ditko? I put the link in the chat if you want to join, man. We can talk about Jim Lee. You can say whatever you want. Don't text and drive. Oh, Steve Ditko. Oh, whoa. Steve Ditko. Oh, now I get it. Hold on. Steve D. Okay. Steve Ditko signed. Got you. Okay, so I'm going back to this little thing out of Steve Ditko letter signed from it. Okay, now I know who Steve Ditko is, but Steve D. I didn't know he had a nickname like that. But wow. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm getting you, Glenn. But yeah, man. Audio call. Link right here. Hit me up. Let me know what you thought about Hush. Hush 2. Yeah, I know who Steve Ditko is now. I just didn't know Steve D. Like I said, like, I'm a DC guy, so I didn't know. Like, maybe Marvel guys call him Steve D. I call him Steve Ditko. And so, so I totally went over my head. But that's cool that you got that. That is an awesome thing for your collection. That is fantastic, actually. That is fantastic. Yeah, join. Who want to holler? I'm definitely eager to talk about Jim Lee. I got time. I got time for another chat. If you guys got time for one, let me know. and the Creeper, Hawk and Dove. Oh, so he's just dropping all kind of knowledge about Steve Ditko. I dig it. I dig it. So yeah. So as I said before, we will be having Ken Lashley next week. Okay. Having Ken Lashley next week. I have a letter from him. Oh, really? That's cool, man. That is pretty cool. And you got like something really personal from Steve Ditko. That is pretty cool. Please join us next week. We'll be giving away this awesome Hex bag, man. I'm not lying. It's dope. It's 100% brand ass new, still in the wrapper, all of that jazz, brand new. And we'll be giving away some Jim Lee signed books. So please subscribe to the Sig Slayers station, man. Because we're where it's at. And also, man, check out those Doug Mankey animations. If you guys like animation, superhero animation, Doug Mankey, well, guess what? There's a whole playlist of Doug Mankey animations on this channel right now. There is a Silver Surfer animation on this channel by Doug Mankey that is so cool looking. I want so many people to see it. I want you guys to see it. Check it out. Check that out. Check out those animations. Give my man some props, man, because he's one of the best comic book creators in the game, and he does animations by himself. So check those out. We got a lot more stuff coming from that wing of the Sig Slayers station. But then, like I said, we have interviews every single Thursday. This week we have Ken Lashley, the Lead Killer, and I can't wait for you guys to see that. And then stay tuned for other ones. We got Bill Morrison coming up, Eric Larson coming up. So every week we're gonna have bangers. I'm about to get up out of here, guys. I had a great time with you all. Every Friday, 7 o'clock Central, we will be here at Stash Wars Live. I'm Mike the Sig Slayer. Please like and subscribe. I'm out.